All right, as I said earlier, my name is Akola Femi Obami. I'm actually a lover of tech. Uh, I'm a data analyst, as I said earlier. I'm a UI UX the designer. I'm also a bit graphic designer also. So in today's class is going to be a foundational class whereby we understand some basic things that we need to understand when it comes to UI UX and when it comes to product design. When it comes to product design, we just need to know product design is just like product or UI UX designers, like they are just more like architectures trying to make they are trying to make life easy for an engineer. Yeah, UI UX designers, they are the ones that makes life so easy for the developer. It is not easy for you to just like you want to develop a product whereby there's not that we don't have any blueprint on ground. There will be a lot of confusion. We have a lot of confusions. Things will not be so like easy like that. So we just need some basic, like we just need some standard that we need to follow even we want to develop any product out there. What did I mean by standard? We need to have some just like, let me just say something like compass that will guide us during the course of developing our product. And that is where the idea of UI UX come up. And to be frank with every one of us today, there is any product that doesn't have a plan, that product might not fly. And whatever that we have out there today, whatever things that we see out there today, with the beauty and all, let us know that there are some secret behind that. There are secret of design behind that, because it's that design that makes that thing comes out beautiful. Okay, that things like the planning behind the scenes are the things that make everything make it look beautiful. Same thing to designer. Designer always like they are always the bedrock in any production. Designers are they are the bedrock, because they vision something and they try to turn it to a design, and after they try to turn it to a design, a mini design that will actually work when they develop it. And a designer, they feel the empathies of humans. Like, okay, it's just like one of my colleagues, in fact, I think my colleague probably is on call with us. So I think we were discussing one day, and he was like, these products that people are using out there, I mean phone, this smartphone that we're using out there, like he just felt something about it, like this pin that we use to remove or SIM card from the phones. He discovered that if some phone company can actually just make a very place, like a very small place at the back of that product, that we can be keeping that pin in, for that pin not to be like lost in anyhow like that. He said it would have been more better. It's something that he just feel. And imagine we just see someone that can actually just listen, probably a company, a phone company that can actually listen to that small word. I bet you that is like it's just like a uniqueness on other products, because some people find it difficult, like if you just buy phones and before that small pin have lost. And if there is a very small like hole that you can actually put that pin in, it will be a very like something that will be very special to other phones there. So let's just dive into what we have to learn today. I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay. Please, is my screen visible over there? Please, can someone please unmute his or herself? If my screen is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, I said we'll be diving into the basic foundation of UI UX designer, what we need to know about UI UX and all. What is UI UX design? It's just combination of two work, UI UX, and the two things, like two words, they work together. So the definition of the two, like give us the definition of that one name, UI UX designer. And basically the meaning of UI is just user interface. And that is just the simple definition that you can get out there. user interface. What is user interface? User interface are the beauties that you see on any product today, be it television, be it web product, be it a mobile app, any app that any product you see out there is just all about UI. And we talked about physical products like probably all these our daily use products, soap and all, cream and all like that. The beauty is just like the UI, what we actually seen on the content. So UI simply means user interface, and we have the UX, and the UX simply means like how it works, what makes it work, And today we are going to be looking into why UI UX is important in digital product. Like in any digital product, why UI UX is actually important. We are looking into the difference between UI and UX. We are looking at example of good and bad design. We can have a good design, we can have a bad design out there. But how can we know the good design, and how can we know the bad design? So we said UX mean users experience. The brain behind UI is what is UX. The user experience, okay, the experience that any user gets out there. I made an example of what one of my friends just told me regarding the pain that they used to do with phone. It's an experience that he had with phone. But imagine you have a kind of way that you can actually send his feedback to all those phone companies. They can actually just get that feedback, to just know what next to do regarding their product. Every product out there today, every product, there is no company out there. They are looking for way to just to have edge over their competitors. If you look at some banking app, you will see them that everybody is just looking for a way to just make life easy to their customer out there. Everybody is looking for a way. What can we do? What can we add to this product that will make life easier for our client then? So UX focus on how user interact with a product. Oh, this button, is it okay for our user out there? Okay, is this clickable? Is this screen, is it okay for us? The font that they're using is the font okay? Okay, what can we do? What features can we add to this product? So that is what the user experience. We feel like the user before we push out product out there. Okay, how will the user, how will they feel if we actually launch this product? Okay, are they can they navigate all through this product? So those are things that we try to just consider when it comes to UX. And in UX we have user research. For us to get all these things that we know, for us to get all these the interactions that our user actually what they felt about our product, we need to do user research. Okay, Sama, it's like a kind of survey and all like that. Okay, what do you just think about this product? What are the things that is missing in this product? What that, in fact, even before any product even got to developing stage, there is something that in product design, there is something that we call prototype. We send the prototype out there, and we just try to send it to some people to help us to test those products, if those products is actually doing well. You try to that after the whole design of your product, you prototype them together, and you send it out there. Okay, sir, please help me to tell how this product actually work. And that give you feedback. That feedback they give you, you try to use it over what you've designed before. You read it together. Okay, what are not working very well? What can we add? What can we remove? Is this font working and all? So those are how to get user research and all. We say user journey mapping. User journey mapping from what it is imagine you sign in. Imagine you log in and when you now log in, you find yourself on profile. Probably you are logging in, you are signing in or logging it in one mobile application, and immediately you just sign in and you just mix yourself in your profile. In any product that you're signing in, the best page that you are signing it or you are logging into is the dashboard of that particular product. Is the dashboard. So when you now get to the dashboard, that is when you can now be going, okay, navigate to this screen, navigate to this screen, navigate to other screen and all. So we need to have user journey mapping. The mapping must be very, very okay. How will this thing go? I think in web they call it, I think they call it site map. We have a site map, we have architectural all this thing, everything. So we need just to like we need to set everything, like organize all what we just need to organize. We have wireframing. Wireframing is just more like us, it's just like sketching out of whatever product I want to, want to make out there. Wireframing. We have usability testing. Usability testing. We test whatever we've done, and with problem solving. Problem solving. Also, we have problem solving. So moving forward, and we have said user interface, which is our UI. How like how the look of that product is actually is the look of the UI, is it up to standard? Like, is people falling in love with our user interface out there? Is the user UI focus on the visual appearance of a product, the way the product looks like, okay, the way the way every screen looks like. If you look at some screen, any product that you use out there, you discover that the screen are like they interrelated, meaning like, oh, they look alike, together with the color, the font style they use. They like is an kind of interrelated. That is the power of UI. They make everything works. When it comes to button, it comes to color, it comes to typography, it comes to icons, layout, and spacing. So everything, like, they just mix everything, make it perfectly. It won't make sense when a button is very big and you did now discover that you go to another screen, the button is now like, it's not like, it's very like worst. It's just like, probably your sign up button is like, you have a kind of size, and you now discover that probably your login button is like having a big size to your sign up. They mix everything, make it look alike, in order not to confuse users out there. In order not to confuse that, even the spacing, the alignment, and all, they make everything, make it perfect. That is the work that we are to do as a product designer or UI UX designer. This is the difference between the two. UI, we see, if, in fact, when it comes to career choosing in life, you can actually just go for UI designer, or you just try to go for UX designer. It's based on like what you want. It's based on what like you really want. But many people out there today, they like practice the two together. They practice the two together. They try to understand the UX very well, and they now try to just turn that UX, they turn it to UI in order to make everything work together. And imagine you are UI UX designer. The life, your life, like the life of any product you handle, it will be very, very easy, and everything will be looking well structured. So difference between UI and UX, we said UX is user journey, like they have user journey and structure. User journey and structure. We have wireframe and usability. Those are the like the difference that we're having. But in UI, we said visual design and aesthetic. So their difference is not something that is very like something that have a very long length. It's just they are just interrelated, meaning that this one is trying to help this one up. This UI is trying to help UX. If we fail in our UI, automatically we are failed in our UX, because the two both work together. The two both work. If we fail in our UX, automatically we fail in our UI. Probably our color failed. It means the user experience will be very, very bad. Once our color failed in our UI, the user experience will be very, 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 very bad. And if we did not do our user journey very, very well, or our wireframe is not that good, or usability testing is not that good, it means that we actually fail in our users also. So we need to make the two work. We need to make the two work together for us to have a product that can actually fly. Moving forward, we call something design thinking and process. Design thinking process. When we talk about design thinking is just like probably an idea comes to you, and you're just trying to look for, like, probably all this product that is coming up is just based on some empathy of users. Probably someone just go to the bank, someone just go to the bank, they now discover that people are so many in here. What can we do to reduce people in banking like this? That is where the idea of mobile app comes up. Instead of you go to the bank looking for teller to transfer money, you just sit at the comfort of your own room, and you make any transfer you want to use. It's an idea that people just feel like, oh, this thing, instead of us doing this way, can we now can we can still do it this way? Just like when they introduce, they introduce this thing to banking system. You like you printing your ATM card by yourself. The machine will be in the front of the bank. Instead of them having a lot of like customer and users inside the bank, there is a machine that you can actually go there, input your details into that machine, and the machine will actually print out your ATM card for you. So, those are the things that we need to think, empathy, understand users. Oh, okay, our users, how did they navigate through this? What is that complaint about our product? I believe probably you've used one product or two, and you find it difficult to just navigate through it. There are some people that they find it difficult to navigate through Temu. There are some people that they find it difficult to many products out there, they find it difficult to navigate through it. So after we empathize, we try to divine it, identify user problem. Okay, what are the problems that our users are facing? And ideate. That means that we generate our ideas. Okay. Once we generate the idea is now well, okay, we try to prototype it, making like try to create a kind of mock-ups that look like a product, but it's not actually a product, but a prototype. So we try to prototype it. And after that, I told us something earlier there that I said after our prototype, we send it out for test, validate with users. Like let people just try to navigate through this for us to just, to get some feedback from them. Okay. Moving forward, they understanding users. Okay, understanding users. What can we use to understand our users? I said we can like understand them through users interviews, through surveys, observation, feedback, collections, and and we have many tools that we can use, personas, and empathy. When we dive into a practical aspect, we try to look into those areas on how to get all these things done. Wireframing, said something about wireframing. We have like different types of wireframing. We have low fidelity, we have middle, and we have high fidelity. Just it's more like a sketching of the product that we actually want to do. Okay, we want to design it this way. We want this screen to look like this way. We want the button to be here. We want this button to be here. This content to be yes, and that to be yes. So that is wireframing. Blueprint of a digital product is just more like the sketching of any digital product that I want to do out there. Plan the layout very well, organize the content, structure the interface, and these are the tools that we use. We use Figma, we use Adobe XD and Blacksmith, but for the sake of this class, we'll be using Figma. I said something about prototyping. Prototyping is more like mock-up of any design that we do, sending out for people to just help us to just check how it works, test the flow, and get what we need to just try to get what we need to improve before we send the product to developers out there. Please, because we have a lot of things to cover. If probably we couldn't like finish up today, either I will try to just try to we if this call end, please let's try to join back. Please, can someone just unmute yourself if you are with me? Please, can someone unmute yourself? All right, please, if this call end lost, just try to join with the link back so we can continue from where we stop. So interactive mockup of a product demonstrate functionality, text user flow, improve design before developing. So I said it before, prototyping is like just make life easier for developer. Instead of us like we just design, we just send it out to developers, for us to just limit like reduce their stress when developing, we just need to just let that product like design to pass through what testing user flow. Once they test it, we know what to do. We know what like to improve in our product. We know what to improve in our product. So UI design principle, we have there is no career in life that doesn't like it's not being guided with principle. We have, in fact, for someone that's like probably you study like do something related to physics, chemistry, and all. There is principle in physics. We have principle in chemistry. Principle of flotation. We have Archimedes principle. I think Archimedes principle say when a body is partially or wholly in mass in a fluid, is experienced an upthrust. So it means that whatever things that we put on water today, there is a principle that is guiding it, principle that is making it work. I think the principle is making ship work on the sea today, oceans today, because there is principle that is guiding them. That principle doesn't allow those things